Long, Supreme Basics, the office expert.
Your Weather Watch continues. Thanks for joining us on the morning brief. Yesterday, I had a really good opportunity to sit down with brilliant minds, Nicole included, and talk a little bit about the flooding and kind of why now? Why is this situation happening? Take a look. Flooding, obviously a major story here at the Weather Network. And guys, I think people really want to know, why now? Why this year? What is making this year so different than previous years where we've seen flooding, but not to the extent that we've been dealing with in Ontario and Quebec? I think there's a couple of things.
I'm kind of smiling because I'm like, tricky question.
Sorry.
Yeah. And we have to look at a combination of things. And I'm going to start off by talking about temperatures. Our meteorologist behind the scenes were looking at the numbers, and they looked at 2013, which we know was a bad year for the Muskoka-Bracebridge area as well. So how were they the same, or were they really different? Well, in fact, they were fairly similar temperature-wise. We had the cooler temperatures, and then April overall average temperature pretty much the same. So the melt from a temperature perspective would have been equal.
Right.
And this year we know we've had a lot of snow.
Yeah, and just to talk to that temperature story too, because it was cold and because those temperatures hung on below seasonal, well then we got the snow that hung around forever. My brother lives in Bracebridge, and he said, you know, once we got the snow in the fall, we hung on to it. We didn't have any prolonged...
You didn't have a January melt, a January thaw, which we always have,
and it helps, right? It gives you that bit of relief. You get a bit of a melt. You might see grass.
Yeah.
They've not seen grass this year. So we talk about snow totals that were below average this season, but snowpack above average. Then you add rain into that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, when we take a look at precipitation, April, for not only that specific location, let's talk about Ottawa and the Ottawa flooding that we've seen. We have to take a look at the Ottawa River Basin. So this encompasses really a large area, and precipitation, 150 to 250% of normal of what we usually see in April. And then when we take a look at 2019 as a whole, I mean, we're tipping above normal as well. So rain or snow, it's been a wet and soggy start to 2019.
Doesn't matter. It's all in the same basin, right?
Well, and I tried to look at temperatures in the Ottawa area, Ottawa specifically, and looking at 2017, which was a bad year as well, temperatures overall were warmer than this year. We were very cold, so couldn't really find a link temperature-wise. So I think it's so interesting to say that the combination of a lot of things come together to make that perfect storm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to continue to cover this story on the Weather Network, and of course you can check out all the latest articles online as well.
Excellent job. Excellent analysis, by the way. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And you can go online and you can find out if you can share it with your friends and families who may be in infected areas.
Right, and a new area of concern today, we have a shoreline advisory, shoreline warning for Lake Ontario as winds start to pick up today. The water levels are already high, so we could see some erosion and flooding along those sections.
So rain, wind, and cool temperatures, that's what you're up against. All right, you can always connect with us at Emily TWN, at Nicole Karkic, and at Murph TWN.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Lennox Heating and Cooling Products. Innovation never felt so good.
Coming up in Force of Nature, severe storms battering parts of the U.S. But first, Mozambique requires urgent life-saving relief to deal with the destructive aftermath of Cyclone Kenneth. The storm struck the southern African nation last week with winds up to 220 kilometers an hour, flattening villages and damaging thousands of homes. And a blizzard swept across parts of Montana over the weekend, bringing wind gusts of over 100 kilometers an hour, while blowing snow reduced visibility and caused road closures. And the first tornado reported this year in the Kansas City region tore off part of a church roof and knocked over headstones in a nearby cemetery. It developed as a line of storms moved over the area as an EF0 with winds of 130 kilometers an hour.
Weather Defense is brought to you by Kafka. Choose quality. Choose Kafka.
As a storm hunter, I've seen pretty much every type of weather that Mother Nature has to offer. But what I want to know, Andrew, is how can spray foam insulation keep me comfortable inside?
Certainly. In regions of extreme climate, it is important for homeowner comfort to maintain temperature and humidity levels in the house. 2-pound closed cell medium density spray foam has the highest R value per inch of any commercially available material. It is also an integral air barrier, vapor barrier, and now proven radon barrier.
And of course, it's always important to hire a licensed and certified contractor, right?
Absolutely.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Where to next?
The thought of me doing something so little as getting a coffee, but making a huge difference for a family is really nice.
Ronald McDonald is our home away from home. We live so far away that I don't know what our family would have done without it. So I'm thankful, and my husband is too.
From the first loving touch, Pampers diapers are the #1 choice of Canadian nurses. Pampers, the #1 choice of Canadian nurses and moms and dads.
Banana Boat, the sunscreen that stays on in all sorts of conditions, gives you Simply Protect Kids. Made without oxybenzone and parabens. Protection you want, 25% fewer ingredients. Banana Boat, we've got you covered.
No one's ever been able to predict their allergy symptoms. Until now. Something's wrong.
There's no predicting what allergy symptoms will strike. That's why there's Arius. It's proven to relieve 15 different allergy symptoms for 24 hours. Serious science for your tough allergy symptoms.
Shift just got real. But with GoDaddy Website Builder, you can keep your business agile. Go to GoDaddy.ca to start your new site for free.
Your Weather Watch continues on this Wednesday. It is May the 1st. I'm Emily Vukovic. Joining me momentarily, meteorologist Dr. Doug. He's got the long-range forecast. He takes us all the way into Mother's Day. Now, I'm not going to, give away any good news or bad news. I'm going to talk about today, and today is kind of bad news. We've got rain coming in with this very potent, I should say, Texas low. It is going to be bringing in a lot of moisture through the lower Great Lakes and up towards cottage country. We do have watches and warnings in place issued by Environment Canada. This rainfall warning is about 20 to 40 millimeters, and normally the rainfall criteria is a little bit higher than that at this time of year. But since the ground is so saturated, these are the flooded out areas through cottage country. That's why we do have that warning in place. The special weather statement is talking about the rain throughout southern Ontario and the wind. 7 degrees, feeling like 3. That's the best we're going to get today through the city of Toronto. We've got this moisture laden low. It's tracking its way north and east, and then we'll see a bit of a break through the overnight, and then our next system comes in tomorrow overnight and into Friday. So we will get a fairly decent day out of the forecast tomorrow, albeit a little bit on the cool side. Risk of isolated non-severe thunderstorms throughout the day today when that cold front comes through. Biggest threats, heavy downpours as well as some strong wind gusts. About 20 millimeters of rain, fairly widespread, and we could actually see some flood erosion along the shorelines of the western GTA with those easterly winds. Okay, Doug, we're talking about the risk for some shoreline erosion along the western shores of the GTA throughout the day today. Those easterly winds, nobody likes an easterly wind, do they?
No, I mean, we're going to have that on Thursday, and then finally we turn the winds around on Friday as a cold front comes through. We have widespread rain, possibly a thunderstorm for the morning commute, and then during the afternoon we could actually see some partial clearing at the end of the day. And while this is a cold front, we're actually going to see our temperatures bump up a little bit because the wind won't be coming in off the lake. So if that clearing happens a little bit faster, we could even do a few degrees better than that Friday afternoon.
Still, I'll take 14 degrees after feeling like 3 through many days this week. Okay, Saturday looks amazing.
Well-timed break in our active and unsettled pattern. Now, there is a catch on Saturday. We will see some sun, but we do have a system tracking south of the border. That rain will stay south of the border, but some of the high clouds on the northern edge of that system could kind of give us a lot of clouds mixed with that sun on Saturday. That system heads out to sea, and Sunday looks spectacular. Lots of sunshine. Take a look at these temperatures. While it will be a little bit cooler right along the lakeshore, widespread mid to upper teens, a few spots could touch 20.
Okay, so travel north if you want the heat. Monday, we cool down a little bit.
But it's still a pretty nice day. But then as we get into next week, the colder than seasonal temperatures return, an active pattern as well. And unfortunately, the chilly weather continues right through Mother's Day.
All right, thanks, Doug.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast is brought to you by Giant Tiger, over 245 stores across Canada.
Coming up, Canadian forces deployed across 3 provinces. But first, Mozambique requires urgent life-saving relief to deal with the destructive aftermath of Cyclone Kenneth. The death toll is at 38, but is expected to rise. The storm struck the South African nation last week with winds of 220 kilometers an hour. And 5 people were killed and dozens suffocated in a fierce sandstorm that swept through several areas of Iraq on Monday. With a vast and arid desert south and west of the area, such sandstorms are commonplace for the country, but they seem to have increased in frequency. And severe spring flooding that has forced thousands of residents from their homes in Canada's eastern half refuses to let up in Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. And now we're watching rain moving into all these areas over the next 24 to 48 hours. Coming up tomorrow on the Weather Network, Michelle Mackey is joined by Chef Johnny Hernandez from the San Antonio area with delicious ideas of culinary delights for Cinco de Mayo, which is on Sunday. And if you're going to be celebrating, here's a look at the forecast. Maybe patio weather in southern Ontario, 14 degrees in Toronto, Halifax 14 with a mix of sun and cloud, and Calgary, a little cool for you at 7.
We know the weather is always changing, and that's why we've made it even easier for you to plan your day. Join now and get your own custom email weather alerts delivered right to your inbox. Visit theweathernetwork.com and join now.
With available safety features like a surround view monitor. Remember the breathing. Blind spot collision avoidance assist. And rear occupant alert. The all-new Santa Fe doesn't just keep you safe. It helps keep everyone safe.
The only thing tougher than Canada are the tires we build for them. Always dependable. Firestone.
Upgrade to new Tide Pods 2.0. And get 50% more cleaning power in the palm of your hand. For a powerful clean in one step, it's got to be Tide.
When there's little hope for your lawn and time is running out, only one thing can come to the rescue. Scott's Lawn Response 911. A revolutionary 3-in-1 formula that brings life back to dying grass. Heroes. Soil enhancers boost nutrient and water use. High-performance seeds build durable grass. Organic and timed-release fertilizers speed growth and greening. Scott's Lawn Response 911. Rescue your lawn.
My anti-aging superpower comes from within. My courage, my strength, the confidence to be myself. Plus, new Nivea Q10 Power. A unique combination of creatine and Q10 that improves elasticity and revitalizes the look of skin so it appears firmer in just 2 weeks. Unlock your inner power with Nivea Q10 Power, the Q10 new generation.
Weather Watch forecasting powered by Sure Health from Green Shield Canada, Canada's only national not-for-profit health and dental benefits specialist.
Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It is May the 1st. Good morning. I'm Emily Vukovic. Environment Canada has issued watches and warnings with this very moisture-laden system that's coming up from Texas, bringing in rainfall warnings through cottage country, 20 to 40 millimeters. Normally, rainfall criteria is a little bit higher than that, but because the flooding in that area has saturated the ground so much that Environment Canada is essentially just warning people that more rain is on the way. Now, our temperatures today, they're going to be cold in comparison to where they should be. We should be into the mid-teens. We're only seeing a daytime high of 7 today, but look at Windsor, 23 degrees. It's clear who's in the warm sector and who is not. Now, our temperatures are going to be warming up by the end of the week, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Here's the rain that's moving through the GTA. We will see a few dry hours this afternoon before the next round comes in around the center of the low. We could see heavy showers and some thunderstorms. We clear out quite briefly throughout the day tomorrow, but then tomorrow night, next low comes in, and this one is going to be adding to our precip amounts. Rainfall amounts today, we're looking at anywhere between 10 to 20 millimeters from the GTA all the way up towards cottage country, maybe even a little bit more. But the winds are certainly going to be a big concern. They're gusting anywhere between 50 to 60 kilometers an hour, and that could lead us to some issues when it comes to wave heights and shore erosion. Here's Tyler Hamilton with more on that.
So we're checking out the mouth of the Humber River where it meets Lake Ontario, and unfortunately we're seeing water levels rise approximately 1 to 2 centimeters every single day. A lot of these shoreline paths and walkways are going to be significantly flooded over the coming days and weeks. You can see the high water line of the last wind event occurred last week. So we're going to see these events continue to occur, and it's quite a precarious situation here along the shoreline of Lake Ontario over the coming days and weeks.
All right, thanks, Tyler. And today we're certainly going to be keeping our eye on the western end of Lake Ontario, so Hamilton and through Stony Creek, Hamilton Beach. All those homes that are really close to the shoreline could potentially see anywhere between 1 to 2 meter waves coming on shore, so some shore erosion and flooding could certainly be an issue. Thunderstorms also could be an issue throughout the day today, isolated and non-severe if we do see anything, but the biggest threat with these is going to be very strong winds and heavy downpours, which we certainly don't need in many areas. 8 degrees for tomorrow, but we will see a little bit more in the way of sunshine. We will start to cloud over throughout the day because we've got another system through the overnight and into Friday. And this is just going to add. So these are the total amounts. This is not what's happening in the next system. This is from today's system and tomorrow night's system. So up to 30 to 40 millimeters in areas that certainly don't need it through cottage country, and about 20 millimeters throughout Toronto. 30 millimeters down towards Niagara. Again, areas certainly do not need this much precipitation. I have good news though. Temperatures warm up by Friday and our weekend looks amazing so far. Stay with us. Your local details are coming up next.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Fix Auto, Canada's collision solution for over 20 years.
Coming up in Force of Nature, severe storms battering parts of the U.S. But first, Mozambique requires urgent life-saving relief to deal with the destructive aftermath of Cyclone Kenneth. The storm struck the southern African nation last week with winds up to 220 kilometers an hour, flattening villages and damaging thousands of homes. And a blizzard swept across parts of Montana over the weekend, bringing wind gusts of over 100 kilometers an hour, while blowing snow reduced visibility and caused road closures. And the first tornado reported this year in the Kansas City region tore off part of a church roof and knocked over headstones in a nearby cemetery. It developed as a line of storms moved over the area as an EF0 with winds of 130 kilometers an hour.
With available safety features like a surround view monitor.
Remember the breathing.
Blind spot collision avoidance assist. And rear occupant alert. The all-new Santa Fe doesn't just keep you safe. It helps keep everyone safe.
You should try banking with Simply Financial. It frees me up to juggle less and plan ahead more. Smart. Good luck.
No monthly fees, great rates. As simple as that.
At OK Tire, most people only know us for, but we also take care of what our name implies, what we actually do. So come in for full auto service. OK Tire, service, repair, and tires.
Check your credit score for free and learn how to improve it at creditkarma.ca. Here's to progress.
Time for a $5 McPix meal.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Hustler. Check out hustlerturf.com for great products and great service on all things Hustler. This weather segment is powered by Supreme Basics Office Supplies and Furniture. Fast delivery, thousands of products online. Supreme Basics, the office expert.
Thanks for joining us on the Morning Brief. It's What Would You Do Wednesday. This is an opportunity for us to share a story with you and kind of get your reaction, and you get our reactions on how we would handle the situation. So take a look at this poor fellow's situation.
This time of year, the city of Lincoln employs thousands of sheep and goats to cut down the vegetation before fire season. They are contained by temporary electric fencing and the fences already in place that separate homes from grassland. Lincoln resident Scott Russo wanted his young daughters to get a better look at the hundreds of sheep grazing behind their home, so he opened his backyard gate.
Oh, this is a huge mistake.
And the sheep took that as an invitation.
Okay, scare them out, Scott. Scott, scare them out.
At first, Mrs. Russo sounds amused, but as the flock continues to flood into the family's yard, her tone changes.
Go now. I'm serious. I'm telling you right now, I'm being serious. Scare them out. Girls, stay by the house.
Ow, 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 no!
Get in the house now, kids. Scott, they're all coming in.
Out of the yard, everybody, out of the yard. Out of the yard, come on.
Get out of here!
Go, go, go.
Oh, no.
Everybody out of my day. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
The uninvited guests still aren't getting the message.
What do I do? I don't know what to do.
Oh my goodness. Well, on a side note, I understand why they went in there. It's a beautiful backyard. Look at those lights and the pool.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is astounding.
So what would you do?
I would hire the Pied Piper. I mean, that was rats.
Really?
How about a sheepdog? I would get a sheepdog. They would know what to do.
What would you do? Because that's a bad answer. How would you get a sheepdog
I would
in there
stay
in like a moment's
inside
notice?
for a while and let them work it out for a bit, and then at that point, I don't have a plan B.
I know something about sheep. They follow each other.
They
It's
do.
true. So if you were to leave the backyard, they would all follow you.
Yes.
They like to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you dress up as a sheep?
100%.
Be the leader.
Maybe you were a shepherd in a past life.
Maybe.
Because that was a good answer.
It's the
I
truth.
never would have thought of that.
It's what actually happens later on in the video, so I may have stolen it from that, but that's fine.
I'd be looking for a guy playing a flute. All right, so we do have.
They got out of the air.
Yes, this we got a heads up. This is going to be a big story today. We've got rain, a huge temperature contrast in southern Ontario, and we know about the flooding situation, the rising water levels. So be on the lookout.
Unwelcome rain. And rain moving into southern Quebec as well. Today it's not that much for southern Quebec, but as we head into Friday, more rain pushes in to the region.
Watch out for some freezing rain and potentially dicey conditions in northeastern Ontario later this afternoon.
And we'd love to hear what you would do in that situation. Here's how to connect with us.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Merci Chocolates. Merci for being you.
Coming up, Canadian forces deployed across 3 provinces. But first, Mozambique requires urgent life-saving relief to deal with the destructive aftermath of Cyclone Kenneth. The death toll is at 38, but is expected to rise. The storm struck the South African nation last week with winds of 220 kilometers an hour. And 5 people were killed and dozens suffocated in a fierce sandstorm that swept through several areas of Iraq on Monday. With a vast and arid desert south and west of the area, such sandstorms are commonplace for the country, but they seem to have increased in frequency. And severe spring flooding that has forced thousands of residents from their homes in Canada's eastern half refuses to let up in Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. And now we're watching rain moving into all these areas over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Well, we'll begin in the east where we're still dealing with wraparound conditions. That's snow, higher elevations, higher accumulations in the northwest of Newfoundland. Another windy day, too. Gusts 60 to locally 80 kilometers per hour. By tomorrow, it'll be still lots of cloud cover, but not as windy and not as snowy. Across the Maritimes, temperatures getting close to seasonal values for inland areas, but still a touch below, and it'll be breezy today. We're talking 40 to 50 kilometer an hour winds. Meanwhile, chilly temperatures continue across the prairies. We're going to see some more snow showers today, central Alberta, certainly towards the foothills and the mountains and the higher elevations in BC. And even the risk of some scattered thunderstorms are possible today. Fairly isolated, but could be some small hail and strong wind gusts from southeastern BC to southern Alberta. That threat will migrate eastwards come tomorrow. And we'll, of course, update you on the flood threat in Ontario.
Pets are the best, but vet bills are the worst. Thankfully, Fairstone offers emergency loans whenever you need them. What? Sprinkles broke up with Rufus for Ruffles. Ruffles would.
Fairstone. Loans that suit you.
Spring is the season of change. Time to bring back the McCafe Oreo Cookie Coffee Iced Frappe. The great taste of 100% Arabica beans and Oreo cookie pieces. Sip into spring with an iced frappe from McCafe.
It was July 2016. Michael was on diaper patrol when the air conditioner broke down. So we called Reliance, and we got there fast. Make the story of your broken air conditioner a short one. Call on Reliance 24 hours a day. And if you need a new air conditioner, act now to get our featured offer with no monthly payments for 18 months. Plus, ask about our next day or we pay $500 installation guarantee. When you need help fast, call on Reliance.
All right, everyone got everything?
Let's go.
I have to go pee.
All right, okay.
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
Wait, Dad, hold on. Something. Okay.
All right.
I need my pillow.
Christopher!
Nah. No. You can't take that.
The brand new Subaru Ascent seats up to 8. The perfect family SUV for your mostly perfect family.
This weather segment is powered by Supreme Basics Office Supplies and Furniture. Fast delivery, thousands of products online. Supreme Basics, the office expert.
Well, your Weather Watch continues, and we have seen levels on Lake Ontario continue to rise. And the flooding that's happening through parts of Ottawa and in through parts of Quebec, certainly not helping matters because we're essentially slowing down the flow through the St. Lawrence, which is backing up Lake Ontario. Of course, all the water flows in from the rest of the Great Lakes, so we could certainly have a bit of a situation on our hands when it comes to localized flooding throughout the GTA. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday. It is May the 1st. I'm Emily Vukovic, and this moisture-filled Texas low continues to plague us throughout parts of southern Ontario. Now, the good news is that we're going to see breaks in the rain. The bad news is that we are going to be seeing quite a lot of it, especially up towards Cottage Country. Environment Canada has issued a rainfall warning for the area, talking about 20 to 40 millimeters of rain. Now, the criteria is normally a little bit higher for rainfall warnings, but because the ground is already so saturated, this is Environment Canada's way of just letting people know that are in flooded out areas that we do have a fairly significant amount of moisture on the way. Otherwise, throughout southern Ontario, the special weather statement talking about that easterly wind and rainfall amounts anywhere between 10 to 20 millimeters. 7 degrees is the best we're going to get through the city of Toronto. Such a sharp temperature contrast between London and Windsor, who are up into the 20s today. You can actually really make out where that warm front is throughout the day today, and we're not going to get much warmer than that. It's actually going to feel closer to 3 when you factor in that wind. In comes the low. It's going to be giving us about, well, a couple hours at least of dry weather. It's still going to be windy and it's still going to feel pretty raw, but it's going to be relatively dry throughout the afternoon hours, and then we're going to get another round into tonight, well, late afternoon, evening. That could up the thunderstorm risk and heavy downpours. The next low that we're talking about coming in Thursday overnight and into Friday, that's going to up our precipitation levels, but not by much. So with this system, anywhere between 10 to 20 millimeters of rain through much of the GTA. The winds this afternoon gusting 60 to 70 potentially up towards the lake. Easterly wind, it is raw, it is cold, that is for sure. So that easterly wind certainly keeping our temperatures below our seasonal average. Once this cold front comes through, temperatures are actually going to be warming up because we'll get rid of that easterly wind. It will return back to a northwesterly flow, and that will help heat us up by the end of the week. Now, because we do have those strong easterly winds throughout the day today, we actually have the increase in water levels, especially along the western shores of Ontario. So Hamilton, Stony Creek, anywhere along the shoreline, we have the risk to see a little bit of erosion or some localized flooding just from waves, because 2-meter waves certainly not out of the question this afternoon. The thunderstorm risk later on this afternoon with the cold front coming through, isolated and non-severe. Biggest threats, heavy downpours and strong winds. Tomorrow we do clear out briefly. We're going to see a daytime high of 8, quite a bit of cloud cover. More details on the expected rainfall throughout the day today in your locals right now.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. Upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Lennox Heating and Cooling Products. Innovation never felt so good.
Coming up in Force of Nature, severe storms battering parts of the U.S. But first, Mozambique requires urgent life-saving relief to deal with the destructive aftermath of Cyclone Kenneth. The storm struck the southern African nation last week with winds up to 220 kilometers an hour, flattening villages and damaging thousands of homes. And a blizzard swept across parts of Montana over the weekend, bringing wind gusts of over 100 kilometers an hour, while blowing snow reduced visibility and caused road closures. And the first tornado reported this year in the Kansas City region tore off part of a church roof and knocked over headstones in a nearby cemetery. It developed as a line of storms moved over the area as an EF0 with winds of 130 kilometers an hour.
Weather Defense is brought to you by Kafka. Choose quality. Choose Kafka.
I've seen pretty much every type of weather that Mother Nature has to offer. But what I want to know, Andrew, is how can spray foam insulation keep someone even like me comfortable inside?
There are two primary types of spray foam insulation in the market today. 2-pound closed cell medium density spray foam has a broader range of application in the construction of the building. It also can greatly strengthen roof and wall construction, which will provide 3 to 4 times greater wind load resistance.
And of course, it's always important to hire a licensed and certified contractor, right?
Absolutely.
From the first loving touch, Pampers diapers are the #1 choice of Canadian nurses. Pampers, the #1 choice of Canadian nurses and moms and dads.
I've got to actually hold my glasses onto my face, so I'm going to lose them.
The Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid electric SUV runs on electric or gas. So it's everything you want in an SUV, but without the waste. Because don't we already waste enough? Meetings about meetings, leftovers no one's gonna eat, bread makers that are still in the box. Maybe we should think outside the box. Waste less with the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid electric SUV, the smarter way to SUV.
This is the fight of our lives.
This is gonna work, Steve.
Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame is in theaters now. To celebrate, Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection, is giving you a chance to win Crown Rust Protection for life or movie tickets and concessions for a year with the ultimate movie prize pack. Visit your nearest Crown Rust Protection Center or crown.com/heroes for details and see Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in theaters now.
Save your money by keeping your vehicle longer. Visit a local Crown Center today.
Whoosh, that's a lot of paper. Good thing Fairstone offers bill consolidation loans so you can combine everything into one simple monthly payment.
Fairstone. Loans that suit you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa, lady!
If we all had a ring-shaped reinforced safety frame, we'd all be as safe as a Subaru.
Weather Watch forecasting powered by Salon Pods for effective relief.
Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 1st of May. And we've got a fairly moisture-saturated low coming in through Texas that is bringing us rain and the risk of isolated thunderstorms throughout parts of southern Ontario. Environment Canada has issued watches and warnings talking about a rainfall warning up towards cottage country, a special weather statement talking about the amount of rain and the very strong winds. It is going to be a wet, windy, and raw day today. We're looking at only 7 degrees, feeling more like 3. Easterly winds coming off the lake. Nobody likes those. Huge temperature contrast, though. Look at Niagara Falls, 50 15 degrees. Toronto, 7. You know where the warm front lies, and we are not into that warm sector. We are going to be seeing a couple of hours of rain-free weather this afternoon, but by this evening, heavier rain could come in with the risk of isolated thunderstorms. Out goes the first round, and then we're seeing a fairly decent day tomorrow. In comes the second round tomorrow, overnight and into Friday, bringing us a little bit more precipitation. Temperatures are staying cold because of that easterly breeze, but once that cold front moves through, we are going to be seeing better conditions by the end of the week. Localized flooding, shoreline erosion quite likely with those easterly winds today. We'll have more details on that, and I joined Chris Murphy yesterday to talk about Lake Ontario. Scenes from incredible flooding over the Toronto Island back in 2017. So many different factors came into play when the island saw this much water, Chris. I was there, and it was knee-deep pretty much throughout the entire island. People had to evacuate their homes. They lost their properties. It was a really bad scenario. Now, we're talking about Lake Ontario today, not because we think something like this is going to happen, but we just kind of want to look back and give you a couple of scenarios on how it could happen again.
Well, think of Lake Ontario as a bathtub. Now imagine having a faucet on full blast with the drain in, and for good measure, turn the shower on as well. You've got all that water coming in. Well, that's what happened in 2017. You had epic flows coming in from Lake Erie.
Right.
There was big flooding going on in Ontario and Quebec. Remember that, the St. Lawrence.
Like there is this year.
Exactly. And to prevent all that water going into the St. Lawrence to make the flooding worse, there is a dam, the Moses Saunders Dam, which is right around the eastern end of Lake Ontario. Think of that. That's like the plug.
Okay.
You put that plug in to prevent worse flooding downstream, but the water levels in Lake Ontario have nowhere to go but rise. And that's really what happened. Combine that with historical rainfall in April and May, and that was a contributing factor.
Okay.
Let's fast forward now to this year.
Same kind of thing happening in Lake Ontario. It is rising right now because they've had to put the plug in because of the flooding in Ottawa and in through parts of Quebec.
Correct, which will be peaking this week. We also still have that faucet on full blast. There's a lot of water coming in from the Great Lakes, and we have more rain in the forecast.
Okay.
So this is going to be one we'll have to watch. And the other concern here too, Emily, will be those easterly winds piling water up against the western shores of Lake Ontario.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the forecasts for your area. Visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Sure Health from Green Shield Canada, Canada's only national not-for-profit health and dental benefits specialist.